Hi, perfect timing doesn't make you more money. Every single month I talk about the market here for our local Boise, Idaho and surrounding area folks that own real estate or are thinking about buying real estate. And I'm here to tell you guys to let you down, I'm not sure, but rookie investors don't obsess over timing. They just calmly lean into their personal goals and they usually take a lot, take some time to make some wise decisions. I meet with so many folks that just want to time this market perfectly, and real estate's a roof over our heads. And so I'm going to talk about the market again today, but I'm also want you to start thinking about how can you create the perfect timing for your family to suit your needs. So instead of going on the outside like, oh, I'm going to maximize my sale price or buy low or whatever, lock into low interest rates, just ask yourself a set of questions. Go inward on this, or go to your partner or your family member or friend that you really trust. Why do I want to move? Do I need to move? How long could I live there? Where am I going to go? Can I afford it? That's really where perfect timing is. And you just know, like, think about your last real estate transaction. It all just happened. It all just worked out. And a lot of times it really works out when you own real estate for a long time. Builds wealth that way. So I'm Christina Ward, Christina and Company at Keller Williams Realty Boise, and I've been studying the market for the last 15 years as I've been selling real estate here in the Treasure Valley. And it's a passion of mine to deliver information so that you can make wise decisions for you and your family like we just talked about. So if you like charts and graphs, I'm going to share some fun charts and graphs with you. Let's see here. Let's make this as big as possible. So Ada County is the Boise area and the surrounding cities to Boise. And that we have on the top left here under market trends, we have the last 12 rolling months of what's been happening in our local market. Last year at this time, we had 620 houses for sale. Now we have 156. Crazy. So when you hear low inventory, that's what that is. There's 561 under contracts. And actually last year, it looks like there was more under contracts. This is interesting, 635. The first time I've seen a trend like that. I've been seeing a little bit more buyers year over year, definitely a lot less sellers year over year. So this is something to watch to see if this is a trend in our market. That could be a sign of a trend downward if we start to see less buyers. Another trend that could cause our market to go downward is if we see increased interest rates, or those less buyer demand would cause increased inventory. So just watch out for that, but no sign of that yet, you guys. We're in a trending upward market. We're in an appreciating market right now. You can see that here at the bottom with the red graph, average sold price. Our bottom of the market was 2011. And we have appreciated all the way up every year over year, appreciated all the way till this year, 2020. Our appreciation rate year to date from January till November was 15.6%. I didn't expect that. I expected an appreciation this year, even before the pandemic, but I expected a little bit of, shiftiness. So that was an interesting increase. What also is interesting is when you look over here to the big, huge graph with all the numbers on the right side. And if you want to chat about this one-on-one, we can really dive into like a price category or even a market category. Like I have this exact chart for Northeast Boise or for the Boise Bench or for South Meridian, whatever you need, I got you. But the whole market is at 0.2 months inventory. That means if no new homes come in the market today, there's no houses for sale in about 6 days. That is a seller's market. We won't go into a balanced market until we get to like 4 or 5 months inventory, and then move into a buyer's market at 6 months inventory and above. There are cities in this country right now that are in buyer's markets. They, from what I've heard from other realtors, do your own research, please. Downtown Chicago, downtown New York City, downtown Boston, downtown San Francisco, buyer's markets. And that everyone says, well, everyone's moving to Boise, and so that should be good. That will help us to have that demand. But if those buyers are sellers in those big cities moving to places like Boise, Idaho, or even I've seen a market trend or a moving trend of San Francisco to Sacramento, Sacramento to here. If those guys are all selling their houses for less because their markets are shifting downwards, then that money comes here and is going to be not as high. and that we could see a pushback on our market. I've already had that from Californians, like, oh geez, look, the average price is 419,000 here. Okay. Oh my goodness, it's not cheap in Boise, Idaho anymore. My gosh, that's crazy. So if their motivating factor was to get here because of price, now they're going to have to find other motivators to get here. So that just could cause a shift. I mean, I'm not saying we're going into a shift, you guys. I'm just teaching you about things that could cause a shift. And if you really want to sell, you know, I think about people that say they want to sell in March and April. Traditionally in March and April and May, we have an increase in listings. Spring starts in January here in Boise. So I'd recommend meeting with myself or top agent in the area that you trust to get a clear market analysis and make a plan for that listing date in April or May or June or March, or even discuss what if we list in January or February and kind of beat out that competition. I don't know if this next year is going to be like last year or the year before or the year before, but traditionally in the spring, we see more listings. So we'll see what happens. Other things to think about as far as statistics, if you're trying to time the market, which I just said, you might not make more money if you time it, but good luck with that. But if you are trying to time the market, and we know that interest rates cause markets to shift and inventory causes markets to shift, or like a major catastrophic, like like a natural disaster or a war could cause markets to shift too. But if those are the main like normal factors, I could see how more listings could come on the market next year. I could see that. I'm not predicting that, but I could see there's some data that could prove that we might see more listings next year. And if we see more listings next year and then buyers push back because our prices are high, well, we will start to see a shift if that happens. Here's a reason why listings could increase next year. 3% of America right now is 90 days late on their mortgage. Typical is 1%. So that's just something we need to watch. That's a concern, right? 7% is, in addition to the 3%, 7% is in a negotiated forbearance. We've never had forbearances before, so I don't really know what to think of this. You know, maybe the government will come in and have a plan where nobody has to sell their house and it's just tacked, the payments they're not paying is tacked on to the end of their mortgage. So, hi guys. So if that happens, that will help our market. But if people are having to pay those, 6 months they haven't paid due at the end of the 6 months, it could cause some people to sell. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. But I'm going to plan for an increase of inventory next year, and we will see. So new construction has really surprised us this year with how it's changed. It has had the biggest change in our market. Like if you look at year over year for new construction in Ada County, last year there was 900 houses for sale. Now there's 322, so big decrease in inventory. Buyers have a huge increase, much higher than the resale. And what I think happened is they looked at the resale market, there's nothing for sale, so then they go to build instead. Because if you look at November last year, 309 closed, 792 pending. And then this year, 326 closed and 1186 pending. So big, huge change. Half of our contracts right now are in escrow to be built next year. So, hey honey, I will be with you in a minute. I just need 5 minutes. Inventory is super low for new construction. We're even seeing some multiple offers for new construction. So Canyon County, our next county over from Ada, is more of an affordable area. So a lot of our first-time home buyers are going to Canyon County. Right now, the average price is $292 in the Nampa Caldwell area. And there's 89 listings, 313 under contract, 0.3 months inventory. So it's a little bit higher than Ada, but just really, really low inventory. And also look at the last year, 309 for sale, 89 for sale this year, so low inventory. And then new construction also, low inventory, increased contracts. You can see at those pendings year over year, and 0.5 months inventory. So even lower for new construction in Canyon. This is really complicated stuff. It's very personal, like we talked about, how it's not necessarily a reason to sell is not to just maximize on profits. There has to be more reasons to sell. It's personal. We are happy to do market analysis, look at what you can buy, look at locking into that awesome low interest rate. I mean, that's a huge factor and makes a big difference for people's affordability right now. And it also makes a difference for the sales price. For the sellers, they get more when the buyer can, because the buyer can afford a higher price because of interest rates. So we'd love to chat about all the numbers, help you guys make a wise decision for your family. And thank you so much for listening, tuning in today, and just private message me if you have any questions. Thanks so much.